saw around me.
He's super chill.
Like, yeah, he's just really.
Unlike the rest of us. So, Brett.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
We're going to be completely honest here. We've been busy.
Yes,
Life has been chaotic. Things continue to spiral out of control, and we know nothing about your program. So here,
great.
So this podcast will be, if you were having to explain what the program is, what you would want someone to know beforehand or get out of the program thing, we have no idea what pieces.
Convince me, Brett.
Oh.
That's where we're
What's
at.
the first piece on the program?
Let me check the order first.
Actually,
give me 1 second.
We're already slap happy. Brett, would you introduce yourself?
Do I need an introduction?
No, never mind. Okay.
Our guest for the third time, which is a record on this podcast. Yes, you are our most recorded guest.
Yes.
Back by popular demand.
Brett the Third. So, okay, Brett the Third, you are here yet again because you've programmed another summer concert series performance.
Yes.
We're very excited about it, even though we know nothing.
Great.
So, the name of today's podcast is Convince Us to Come.
So we're starting with.
Well, I don't know how convincing I can be, but I can tell you about the pieces. So the first thing on the program is Mozart's A Musical Joke.
Great.
So I don't know if you know anything about this piece at all. The first time I actually heard of it, I was out in San Francisco, and they have this cool thing called Soundbox, which is like a separate hall from their main hall. And so I was playing in the big orchestra that week, and some of the other people in the section were playing in the small like chamber hall stuff. They were all dressed up, and I was like, "Why are you wearing wigs? Like, what's going on here?" And it's like, "Oh, like we're playing Mozart's Eine musikalische Spaß." I'm like, "Aha, funny, a joke." Well, basically, Mozart wrote it as poking fun to other composers writing things in the wrong form or extending phrases longer than they should be, and horns like playing in the wrong key.
Oh my god.
Wait, okay, because just over time, there have been composers who have made fun of other composers. Like Bartok comes to mind.
Yes.
Petty man sometimes. Or Saint Saw comes to mind. Petty man.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a whole new level of trolling.
Yes.
Where it's literally, is it quite literally, does it just sound wrong?
There are moments where he intentionally writes for, it's mostly the horns, to sound wrong. Wrong notes, all these other things, and then there'll just be random phrases that keep going when everything else has already stopped and moved on to something else. Yeah. So the title of the program is From the Courts with Comedy. So I was given the Brandenburg Bach's first Brandenburg Concerto. That was the anchor piece. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Hey, you have this, work with it. Work with this instrumentation. What can you do with this?" So I did. And I was like, you know what? People need a laugh. And so I was thinking, I was Brandenburg written, all the courts, all the castles, all the kings and all the queens come to mind. And so I said, you know what? Instead of turning things political, I was like, we're just going to have a good laugh about this. We're going to listen to some good music. We're going to have a good time. And here we are.
How does one, because we spend our entire lives learning how to play music correctly, how does one get past all the temptation to fix the impending disasters that are coming?
That's really hard. Even sometimes I try to demonstrate in my teaching, if something goes really poorly, I try to demonstrate it the same way they did it so they know what went wrong. And it's so hard to do it. But if it's on the page, written to be like, okay, it's supposed to be a B natural, but you're playing a B flat. Like, it's there, so I'm going to do it. I think if it's written out, it's fine. And Mozart intentionally wrote it out.
Do we know where he was in his career when he wrote this?
That's a good question. I don't remember the exact period, if you will, but I did my research.
You have better than we did. We clearly did not.
So it was written in 1787. So that would have been his towards middle end.
Let's say that's correct.
I think that's correct. Yeah, I'm not a Mozart expert.
1787.
This is to the microphone.
You know what?
It's a different. Like he died in 1790.
So,
right?
But he was also really young.
Yeah.
He was like 35.
1791.
He died in 1791.
Yeah.
So 4 years before Mozart's untimely death, he came out with this gem.
Yes.
That you have shanghaied your Brandenburg musicians.
Yes.
What are the forces for this massive musical gem?
So in Brandenburg, there are 3 violins, because there's the violin, it's not piccolo violin, but it's like a solo violin part, then violin 1, violin 2, viola, cello, bass, continuo, which is harpsichord, and then 2 horns, 3 oboes. They just get to honk away. 1 bassoon. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there was ever a greater example of Bach was writing for the forces he had in front of him, I don't know. 3 oboes.
3 oboes. I mean, it's not like Royal Fireworks with like 13, but that's a whole other barge of a story.
For more jokes like this one, June 7th at the Omaha Conservatory.
Oh wait, this is on video. Hey! Okay. I forgot about that.
But so this is, I think the other thing that's cracking me up about this is that we think, I'm going to stop saying we, I'm going to speak for myself. I figured P.D.Q. Bach invented musical comedy.
Oh no.
No.
Not even close.
Okay.
I mean, did you ever see the movie Amadeus?
Yes.
I know that was a film made much later, but I think it accurately portrayed Mozart. Like, in his horn concerti, he wrote notes to the horn player, Ignaz Leutgeb, who was actually a cheesemonger, but a pretty cool guy and horn player. In his 4th concerto, he writes in different colored inks, and in red ink, he's like, "You're an ass, you're an ox," and all this fun stuff. So, like, he's a jokester.
So wait, he's not insulting him. He's saying this is how you're supposed to sound?
No, he's calling him an ass. Do you have to bleep that out? Sorry.
No.
Sorry, listeners. It's true. It's in the ink.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the manuscript.
If Mozart wrote it, then
it's true.
It's fancy.
Have you started rehearsing for this? And like, what is rehearsal like if you're for a piece like this?
We're rehearsing next week.
Okay.
With our schedule now,
yeah,
there's no time to do it. And I mean, we did Brandenburg about 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. And we paired it with a big different piece. But since I was in charge this time, I wanted to go a different direction.
You really did. Like, for the second piece, I mean, so first piece, still mind-blowing. We all need a laugh. We're going to release some cortisol.
You're going to laugh. I hope so.
If you can't make your own serotonin, OCMS bot is fine.
Yes.
And then you're going to go to Caroline Shaw's Plan and Elevation.
Yes. And so the reason I programmed that, so I wanted something, I was looking instrumentation-wise, and I really like Dumbarton Oaks. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking like, oh, it's so close, but we needed to stick with, it could be fewer players than the Brandenburg, but I had to use the exact same instruments, couldn't add. So I was like, okay, all right. So I went down to a string quartet. And I was thinking courts, like, oh, Dumbarton Oaks, it's about the castle, or not, it's not exactly a castle, it's more like an estate. However, Stravinsky wrote that just the same way that Caroline Shaw wrote Plan and Elevation. It's all about architecture and her time spent at that estate. And I actually got to play with Caroline Shaw a few years ago. She is a fantastic violinist, which I had no idea. I only knew her as a composer and singer. It was with Pro Musica, this chamber orchestra in Columbus, and we were doing, the first half was a couple of her pieces. She sang something, and then they had a string quartet, I think, play Plan and Elevation. And then she comes back for the second half where we were doing Brahms' Second Symphony, and she just plops in the back of the seconds and just like sitting right in front of me, plays my horn. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. You can do everything, can't you? So, so it was really cool to see someone super talented like that not only write cool music, but also be able to play Brahms.
Was that kind of like seeing Mozart?
I kind of, in a way. I mean, I'm not much of a fangirl, but like it was like, oh wow, that's a really cool piece. You did that, and you can do this too. Because some people are just kind of one-trick ponies, but she's able to do it all.
She's a 3-trick pony.
More than that, and not only she's an incredible singer too, which I had no idea. And then I looked up a lot of her other music. I think she's got a duo, and she does a bunch of other stuff. And then I found her music, and that's where it came in. So we're still within the courts, sort of. And then we get to the Brandenburg, which is the staple. Everybody knows it. Well, most people do.
But if you didn't know it, how would you begin? Like, how would you describe it? Because so Bach, again, speaking entirely for myself, thinking it's going to sound Baroque. It's going to sound very super detailed, very like fits together really wonderfully, like an ornamental piece, like ornamental watch piece, I think.
Yeah.
But a variety of textures and colors, written in the 16th century.
Yes.
17th century.
So it was written in. I have it right here. Actually, look, I did all of it. It was somewhere between 1718 and 1721. So the date is not exact on it because it was during his Kirchen period. That's what they call it. So at that time, he was not necessarily employed at a singular church where he did a lot of his work.
So he gets this ragtag group of musicians together, including 3 of those.
Yes, and 2 horns.
And then he creates...
Can't forget that.
So you knew it was going to be good.
Yeah. So
how big is the suite? Is it still 3 movements? Is it?
It is. I like to call it an expanded suite. You have your 3 movements, and then you have a 4th movement, which is kind of like a variation in a way. But it also has like different dances, minuets, polacas. I think that's what they're called. It's that type of dance. You know, if you think to his cello suites, it's a similar format to that. Where everything is a different type of dance.
How does it feel to pull together? Are you responsible for this group of misfits, or do you put your faith in somebody else to run herd on a piece like the Brandenburg or the Mozart?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question.
We actually asked that question for the last Brandenburg with Susanna Maria Christie, kind of like, oh, how do you, push that? And they all kind of said, well, we're deferring to Susanna. They really passed the
and Susanna was like, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I would like to think I'm a leader, but I tend to do things very... not inefficient's not the right word. I like to push people, and people get mad at me. So...
It's a very conductor experience.
I like to hold people to their best. They don't like that. No, I guess a better question is you curate, because I'm experiencing this a little bit myself. Just because you curate a program does not mean that you are the person with either the most notes or the most responsibility.
Right.
So when you get to play, you bring this group together, and this is your group and your concert. Yeah. But on stage, where are people going to be looking for musical leadership?
It depends on what's going on.
Okay.
I also know all the personalities. And I think that's the beauty of it, because I know who's going to take charge and who's not.
So who's going to take charge? Name names. You don't have to name names.
Well, I think that's also a forte of this, is that people come to these types of things with their own ideas and their own opinions. So we can say our own ideas and own opinions without having someone up in front of us.
Yeah.
And whether we come to a clear consensus on what they are, we'll find out in rehearsal. It's kind of like least common denominator, most common, whatever that one is. It all filters down. So...
Do you feel like some instruments do that more naturally than others?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That would be people in a string quartet.
I also feel like that's tied to personality though, and that's tied to what instrument you play, just because of like personalities and instruments. I feel like there's certain people that choose instruments because they are naturally leaders, and I'm sure. I mean, you have a lot of experience curating. You also curate the our cathedral series and things like that. Like it's all, you have a lot of.
I can conduct too.
And which you
I did an okay job.
Yep, I believe you. Next
MI
conductor. If I get sick, I know who to call.
But did you like it?
I liked some parts of it. The hardest thing was going back and forth between playing and conducting. So the people who do that, I have mad respect for.
Yeah.
Or who do it at the same time. Like some of the pianists or the violinists who lead that way, I'm like, no thank you.
Yeah.
Because I want my brain to be in one spot.
Yes.
So, I mean, I would do that again, and I would love to do that. And I have to say that I had to kind of plan around that.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I had too many pieces off in a row, it was going to feel really bad coming back, playing something.
Yeah.
So
you just switch your brain from like being responsible for the musical output that you are creating to, and now I'm listening and like, evaluating everything that's happening. And then it's impressive.
it's hard. It's
impressive.
really hard. Also conducting antiphonally.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a group that's 50 feet over here, 100 feet in front of you over here, and another 50 feet over here, and you're in the middle, and you just cross your fingers and you go, and you hope they're not late.
Well, so they're like, there are two aspects to that too, right? But it's the one, on one hand, you're trusting that the players are compensating based on their experience, right?
Yes.
Which is like, that is, you can't even explain that's worth its weight in, like, that's invaluable.
Right.
Versus then like your knowledge of conducting technique and being able to help the people be on time, because there is no way that person can hear that sound over there or whatever. So, you need to be able to communicate and let them be able to do their job. And then,
it's not chamber music.
Yeah.
You cannot do chamber music in that fashion.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate whenever we were able to come together and do chamber music in that type of thing, which is why I like doing things like Brandenburg and all that, because we don't need someone up front.
Yes.
So
and it's a perfect space too, like the OCM at just that kind of like small enough stage where people have the space to be spread out, and I'm sure they'll be standing, seeing, like people watch each other, and like the kind of, I love coming to the OCM and just watching the visual and like body movement collaboration that goes on when the chamber.
I mean, the
it's
fun
amazing.
part is like if I lock eyes with somebody, usually like give them a funny looking face, because just why not?
It'll be very on brand for the musical
Like, you should see me
show.
sitting here at work. Like if I lock eyes with Nate, I'm just like, I give him a little sideways smile, and then he'll just like give me a smile, and sometimes Bobby will blow me a kiss. And
so you should do that with audience members in the concert.
There will be shenanigans.
How many shenanigans can you fit in one concert?
That's a loaded question. Because there's an infinite number, but you want to balance tastefulness and quality.
So actually, that's a really great question. With something like the Mozart, or even a PDQ Bach, like whatever you get to choose that has humor at its core, how do you approach the parts of the piece that are not designed to be laughed at? Are you approaching it like a legitimate piece of music that just goes off the rails?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to do it. I mean, have you ever seen those old Peter Schickley videos with him in Itzhak Perlman? He's there, like, doesn't even have a bow in his hand, and then looking around, and then, all of a sudden Itzhak Perlman comes in and just, like, plays the crap out of the violin, but people are laughing, but then it sounds like, whoa, that's really good. That's the kind of vibe I want for this.
Do you think it's a better musical joke because Mozart was so ludicrously good at writing music?
Oh yeah, because he was making fun of composers who wrote with parallel fifths and some audience members who don't know anything about music theory, at that time that was not a thing you did. Right. That was, what do they call it, like devil's music or something. Right. I think that's how it really, or maybe that was during Bach's time. So a little bit earlier, parallel fifths were considered very like sacrilegious.
When you're in music theory class in school, that's one of the first things you learn about writing counterpoint is you're not supposed to move.
Bad voice leading.
Yes, exactly. But he intentionally does this, and hence why it's titled The Music Joke, because he's poking fun of people at that time who did that. Whether they were famous people or not, it's very valid and warranted.
I'm just imagining kind of Mozart as like a stand-up comic. He just got a notebook every time he goes to a concert. He's like, and this. I was actually so Eric Leinsdorf wrote a book called The Composer's Advocate, and so he's super brilliant, like above brilliant musician, right? But the problem is he doesn't understand why no one else is at his level. And so he writes about these mistakes that he finds in scores or these mistakes that he sees people making. And it seems to come from a place of, your brain works the same way as mine does, clearly. So why aren't you noticing X, Y, and Z? And so I'm wondering are there going to be things that you think are apparent to your group that aren't apparent to the audience that you will have to bring out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so how are you planning on doing that?
That's when shenanigans come in.
Great.
And we just kind of have a good time. That's what we're there for.
Nice.
If you have a lighthearted piece on a program, people tend to relax more. If it's not so stuffy, that's part of this. That's why I wanted to start with that piece and not necessarily end with it. I mean, Brandenburg can go anywhere. It's a great piece. But this, you get people relaxed. You get them just like, oh, cool. And then you get to Caroline Shaw's music, which is kind of like a, whoa. Like
a brilliant person doing brilliant things. And
yes.
Yeah.
You hear harmonies that you would not think you could hear that sound good. And it's just like a trippy experience. Like you're breaking what do you call it, the fourth wall. That kind of experience. And then you rein it in a little bit, where you're going to hear some funky things. You're going to hear like 3 oboes playing in the bottom register in unison, and then the horns screaming, doing things that should have been done like on a hunting horn.
Do you ever think Bach was joking around, or
no?
Okay,
not in this instance. He was I think it was more poised. However, after having visited both his home and the church in Leipzig. He was in charge of the boys' choir. And in his written accounts, there were multiple attempts of boys lighting curtains on fire. So he obviously had to have a sense of humor. Like, oh crap, the church might burn down. But to write about it and laugh at it and send it in a letter to somebody, he had to have some sort of a sense of humor. But I don't think his employment at the time would have been apt to that type of humor. Whereas Mozart was primarily self-employed. People paid for him to come to them. And he did.
Do you ever feel like we forget how crucial a sense of humor is when we're perfectionists by nature? That's what we have to do with our instruments. Do you think that this is a nice reminder that you're supposed to have fun?
Yes. 100%.
What are other things, like after people come to this concert, because of course you're coming to this concert. So after they come to this concert, what else should they get into to continue this?
Obviously, go to the rest of the summer series. That's plug number 1. I would say just have an open mind and listen to something that you have never listened to before. Even if it's heinous and terrible, all of the above things, to your taste, somebody else is going to love it. But you can laugh at it. You can be like, wow, that was really bad. And there are pieces that I think about like that. But then there's other things that I really love that other people are like, what is that garbage?
And those pieces are?
Well, I'm a big fan of electronic music. And some people absolutely despise it. They're like, what is that? That's not an acoustic instrument. Like, yeah, I know.
It's a laptop.
Yeah. But I can play with it. It sounds really cool. Or I can not play with it. I can just enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Just like a string quartet. I really despise most string quartets.
But not this one.
Not this one, because it's not. I will fall asleep to Haydn string quartets. Shostakovich one. Those are like, I want to hear, you put like a pound of rosin on your bow and you're just going like, that's the best thing ever. So the more rosin, the better. That's for you string players.
Pro tip from Brett.
Pro tip: be like those two French violinists in Brevard, summer of 2013, who borrowed my bass rosin.
Oh.
Which I told them, I warned them, this is a bad decision, and they did it anyway. So okay, keep going.
Yes, that's a good tip. Where is it going from that?
So,
just a pound of rosin, and then just go for it. Sometimes you make a bad sound. That's okay. As long as you're going for it. I might make a bad sound tonight. We'll find out.
We'll find out. Right.
I do what I want. I have a good time with it. Most of the time it sounds pretty good, but I don't know. You sit up in the hall.
Sounds good to me.
Every so often there might be something egregious.
There will be nothing egregious on June 7th, except for the things that are supposed to be egregious.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Look forward to the egregious, because they're supposed to be there.
So Brett, I have a spur of the moment last question for you.
Okay.
We need your favorite viola joke. Or favorite music joke, but preferably a viola joke.
I mean, I know it burns longer than a violin.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I was definitely... Yep.
Was it unhinged enough?
Yep.
Because I can be worse, Danny. And you know that's